Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we're going to do another knife review today. We are going to look at the Buck 252 trunk. And this knife, it has a blade length of 2.78 inches. Open, it is 6.78 inches, and closed, it is 4 inches. The steel on this, it is a 7CR stainless steel cleaver style blade. And this is Buck's first ever cleaver style blade, so their first attempt at doing a cleaver style. The weight of this, it is 3.1 ounces. The handle, it is a G10 handle on it. Pocket clip is right hand only, tip up, and they consider it deep carry. You do have a little bit of the knife sticking up, but not very much. It is a liner lock, and it is a dual thumb stud or flipper tab opening. And I find that the thumb studs actually are a little easier opening, which is unusual for me anyway. I usually find the flipper to be the easiest way to open, but I find that the thumb studs work the best on this knife, at least for me. And it does have some jimping back here on the handle for grip purposes. There is no lanyard hole. For those who like lanyards, sorry, it's not going to happen with this knife. It is slightly off center, a little bit to the left. That can be fixed easy enough. If you want to fix that when you own these knives, but it is slightly off to the left hand side. But there is no blade play, up or down. It sits in there pretty decently solid. Let's do a little bit of a size comparison so you can see. It is, there's the Ontario Rat 2, so that's just slightly bigger, not much. And the Benchmade Bug Out, so that is bigger, definitely. So it is a small knife. We'll grab a couple more here and just give you an idea. We've got the Sencut Saxi, and you can see that's quite a bit bigger, as well as the Civivi Cogent. And again, quite a difference in length there. So it is a relatively small knife for Buck's first attempt at a cleaver. Who knows, maybe they'll make a bigger style, but yeah, it is a smaller knife to be sure. So the 7CR, it is a budget type steel, but it does, as you can see, hold an edge quite well. It slices through paper pretty good. We will grab my favorite, the old zip tie, and see how it does with that. And it goes through that relatively easy. Through the garden twine here, we'll get this organized. And it goes through that without any trouble at all. And paracord wannabe, again, through that without any trouble. So it does come decently sharp from the factory, and will cut through things. I carried this a bit, probably not as much as I should have. We'll get into that later, but yeah, I found that, well, let's go there now. I found that it just wasn't a knife that I enjoyed carrying that much. But aesthetically, if you like the cleaver style, it's aesthetically pleasing knife. I like what they've done with the handle. They've chamfered the sides here so that you get good grip. It is a small handle though, so I've got a medium hand. As you can see, there's no spare handle there. So guys with bigger hands, this might not be the knife for you unless you like small knives, but people with smaller hands, I find the handle actually fairly comfortable. So ergonomically, it feels good. I would have preferred jimping on the back of the blade, but that's just me, just for that extra purchase, because I put my thumb up here when I'm doing, you know, controlled slicing and stuff like that. So back here, it's fine, but I prefer a little further forward. The grip on it, the grip is great. It's not going to slip. You've got the knurled handle there and the finger grooves here. Some people don't like the finger grooves. I personally don't have that big a problem with them if they're done right. And so this feels pretty good in the hand. Not a big deal. It does fit the pocket okay. It is wide here though. Definitely very wide. So you can see kind of getting a Spyderco effect, except Spyderco is usually at this end. Yeah, it has some width there. But surprisingly, when you put it in the pocket, this fits into the groove in your pocket. So it doesn't necessarily feel that big. So yeah, it fits okay in the pocket. My only real complaint with it, oh, and I was very excited because Buck, you listened, and the pocket clip, thank you. The pocket clip is flush and the screws are flush, so less wear and tear on the old pocket there. So good job, guys. So my only real complaint is that the pivot is not super smooth on this. I did loosen the pivot a little bit, and that's why it's off center slightly. It was more centered until I loosened the pivot screw here a little bit. You can fix that easily enough. I could loosen it more, but it was, yeah, I don't know. It just isn't the smoothest pivot. So that's something I'd like Buck to work on, because Buck has knives with very smooth pivots on them, and you don't have to loosen this up. So yeah, maybe it would be nice if they worked on that just to get that a little bit better. But it's definitely not impeding the use of the knife. I just found with the flipper, because it is a smaller knife, I found that the flipper, it's harder to open without a smooth pivot than the thumb studs. So that's why on this one I found that the thumb studs is the best way, for me anyway, to open it. Still opens decently with the flipper, but yeah, I found the thumb studs is the easiest way to be opening this knife, just because of the size of it and the pivot. Pivot works fine. It'll break in more too. Like, you can get it to drop down. So it's not like it's a horrible pivot. And like I said, I could loosen it up even more if I really wanted it to be drop closed and flip open in that. But I don't like the pivots too loose on them either. I like a little bit of resistance on them. So that's just me. If you purchase this knife, you can do with it whatever you feel and get it working however you would like it to work. So I did carry this, as I say, for a little while, probably not as much as I normally would. I do have some other cleaver style knives that I prefer to this one. Just they're more comfortable, they work smoother. Yeah, just feel a little better to me. But this, it's not a bad knife. It's just, personal preference is what it comes down to. And that's why when people ask me about buying knives, I say, if you have opportunity to handle the knife, see how it feels in your hand. because it might look great, might be just the thing that you think is the most wonderful looking knife in the world, but it feels rotten in your hand. So I encourage anybody buying a knife, especially first-time knife buyers, if you get the opportunity before you buy it to handle the knife and see how it feels in your hand, do that, because that's a big thing. If you buy a knife and it's not comfortable in your hand, you don't like the way it feels in your hand, you're not going to use it, and you just won't be happy with it. So the knife itself, I have no, as I say, no real complaints other than the pivot on it. Hope Buck, with their next release of cleaver style blades, makes it a little smoother pivot, and it may be just this knife, I don't know, but yeah, it would be good to have a little smoother pivot on it. But as far as an EDC, you could easily carry these as an everyday carry, especially if you like the cleaver style blades. It definitely, it's got the Buck quality to it. It feels like a good solid knife, and fit and finish is quite decent on it. And so yeah, I would recommend it as an everyday carry. It's just not going to be my everyday carry. Again, just personal preference and what I like in my knives. So yes, check them out. What was the price on this? I think I got this on sale for like $40. So they're in Canada here, they're around $55, I think it is. Managed to pick this one up on sale, and you can find them at different places. I know Cabela's carries them, different places around. They are easy to find. Most places that carry Buck will probably have one of these, so check them out. Great little knife. It's got the Buck quality to it and Buck warranty. Yeah, it's a decent knife. I just wish I liked it more for my own personal use, but hey, c'est la vie. All right, that is it for this review. Check out my other reviews, the unboxings online. Leave a comment, I will get back to you. Hit the like, hit subscribe. We will do this all over again with another knife, but until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.